Hi, my name is Elijah Buswell. This trip has been really important to me because I think it's the trip that I got baptized on, and I think it'll leave a lasting impact on my life. This week, one thing that I experienced was just the love of God for everyone, and not just. It's really easy when we're at our homes and in Salem, Oregon, and America in general. Like, we have all these things that we just take for granted, and it's really cool seeing that God cares for everyone even without those things. And that we got a chance to help those people through God's He paid for those houses. And it was really cool seeing the families' faces light up as we built their house. And when we raised the walls, we all got to go around it and pray for them, pray for the walls, and even pray for the family. It was really cool just watching everyone bless the walls and knowing that there were 1,000 blessings going along that you didn't even know, and you wouldn't even know that. Like, even a couple of years, they'd be like, this is a miracle that's happening, but someone might have blessed that, and it was very cool seeing that.
I'm Becky, and this trip meant a lot to me because I was able to take my youngest grandson, and I was able to go several years ago, about 4 years ago, and took 2 other grandchildren. And we came from a YWAM background, and I raised my children in YWAM. And so when it came to this next generation, my husband and I, when we retired, felt like our ministry is our grandkids. And so we wanted them exposed to missions because it's always been such a big part of our life. And so to take the last one that's going, well, maybe more, but was special. And he totally dove into it and loved it and wants to go again next year. And I said, well, I'm not sure about next year, but we'll talk about it. And during the trip, just watching him and all of the young people, being in a room with teenage girls, and you just hear them and hear the joy it was of serving. I think the biggest impact I heard from the kids was building the house and being able to hand the keys over to that family that you get to know, building the house with, and it's just, nothing can replace that feeling of knowing that you've changed that child's life specifically, and the parents forever. And so one of the biggest things I saw impact the kids too on the campus was during the missions adventure meetings at night, they would get notes that they wrote about each other, and just watching them get mail, they called it, and seeing how it built their self-esteem and stuff, and just made them to want to go and to be that person that people were saying that they were. And so I saw that in the teenagers, and being the oldest one on the group, I was grandma to a bunch of them, and that was special. And so the whole trip had a lot of meaning. I knew that I was supposed to be there and that it was God's will. And so I saw it through.
Hi, my name is Lemuel, and this trip will forever change my life because it just got to open my eyes and see the living conditions of all these people in Mexico and how grateful they are for the little that they have, and they make do with everything that they got. And just seeing all of these things that I look over in my daily life, like running water or a place to use the restroom or just a place to be safe at night, that these people live without daily and sometimes never get to see. And the people there were just so welcoming, even to people who have never been to the country. So it's just great to see, and it had changed my life forever.
Hi, my name is Amber, and this trip left a lasting impact on my life by showing me God's heart for people who are struggling or who are lacking necessities to live. And it was really cool to get to be there and do something, serve other people physically. Like, we got to see a house built from ground up, and we took part in that. And so being a part of that was truly impactful. It made me think about all the things I have back at home and how much extra I have. I have all my necessities plus more. So really seeing God transform these people's lives by giving them shelter, and we got to furnish their house, which is really cool. Like, we didn't just give them a house and leave. It was like a house and furniture and food, and just knowing that God really saw them and wanted to take care of them was really cool. What else was really impactful about the trip was how God not only blesses the people that we go to see and to help, but he also blessed our team a lot. And I feel that he made our team strong, and our relationships when we came back are super solid. And so it was like a double blessing both ways, not just for them, but for the church back at home.
Hi, my name is Corey, and I had the opportunity to join the Mexico trip this year. And I think as I reflect on the trip, the word that comes to my mind, it would be purpose. And I think if you would have asked me before I went on the trip what the purpose of the trip was going to be, I would have said taking my children down to experience a different culture, that maybe see how good they had it here in the States, to go build a house was a main purpose, and then just to travel and enjoy time with my family. But I think as we got down there and we started to experience, the Lord just had something deeper for me this year as we went through the trip. So we received a devotional one of the first mornings we were in Mexico, and the author of that devotional posed a couple of questions that really kind of impacted my week that week. And the question was, what do you want to do when you grow up? And we hear that a lot. And she said, a better question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because I think as we get older, we begin to reflect on just not what I want to do, but who do I want to be and who do I want to be remembered as? And then she brought it back around and said, a lot of times we ask, what do we want to do for God? But she said a better question would be, who do I want to be for God? And I think as I focused on that question of who do I want to be, it just changed my perspective for the week, because I didn't want to just be there to do things. Not that that's a bad thing to build a home for somebody or to minister to somebody, but I really wanted it to be impactful for me, and I really wanted to do it because that's what God asked me to do. It's not a bad thing to want to build a house or to be helpful for people, but when I do it just to do it, I feel that it kind of loses its power. I want to do those things because God called me to be his hands and his feet to those in a lost world. And we're not called to just be receivers of the gospel, but we're called to be active participants in the gospel. And so we're truly the hands and feet of a living Jesus who's actively saving the world. At the end of the devotional, the writer summed up kind of some thoughts, which really resonated with me and kind of changed my outlook for not only that week in Mexico, but also moving forward. And I just wanted to share those with you today. As I focus on developing my character, God opens doors for me to do things for him beyond my wildest dreams. He takes me to the ends of the earth on a thrill ride of adventure, exhilarating in every way because it's a faith journey with him. It's when you lose your life for his sake that you find it. I want God's standards of excellence and not cheap accolades and approval that the world offers. So I press on to allow him to complete the work he has begun in me. I want deep and complete work so that he is satisfied with my resume.